Welcome back to Guns of the Patriots. So now let's go back to the very beginning with the logos.
Literally back to the beginning, including the logos.
Yes, because now I'm going to show off all of the videos.
Beautiful.
From beginning to end.
Kojima, your Japanese side is showing.
Is this a perfume commercial?
Dude, Jova, his Japanese side is always showing.
Are they speaking French?
Yes, we are.
Pedro.
Yes.
Pedro. A lot of times his American side is showing.
True.
Or rather, his American aboo.
Westaboo, like people say, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, the point is, this is a commercial about,
the Hydra symbol.
I think it's a perfume that it is?
Yeah, I think it is, which, to be fair, a perfume commercial exactly like that.
Alright, and now we have...
Wait, soldier?
A SWAT team. Oh, it's a...
Who's playing with their phone's ringtone sounds?
Holy shit, guys. The Patriots, made VR gaming prevalent.
Hitman?
Yes.
Never a shot in the dark.
It's fucking Hitman, and we're missing is the barcode.
So, okay. So that's like a CGI trailer that doesn't tell us what the game is. Oh my god, the Patriots really ruined the world.
So did you go back?
It's Cloverfield's, Asylum-made cousin.
There you go.
Curious, Pedro, did you go back each time to replay this to show each one and basically taper them together?
Yes, I did. I couldn't find. Surprisingly, I couldn't find a YouTube compilation that was in good quality, so I had to make it myself.
Wow, that is surprising. That seems like one of the obvious things to make a YouTube compilation.
Yes, Shirley?
A lot of these trailers are giving pre-movie trailers.
Yeah, that's the thing, Shirley. Remember the.
Also, considering it's Kojima making these.
Shirley, remember. That's the thing, Shirley. Remember, the Patriots won at the end of Metal Gear Solid 2, Shirley, and this is the result. There you go.
Okay.
Extra dramatic trailers for no
Werewolf.
Okay.
Evolution reinvented.
That sure looked like Kojima's take on Bayformers.
And like I said, here's the trailer for Death Stranding.
Yeah, this is like him practicing for Death Stranding, basically.
Although if you put Bayonetta in it, I guess.
Yeah, that works too.
Oh, and then they kiss. And then they shoot each other.
Is this one of the fantasy sequences in Sucker Punch?
Well,
yes.
It does kind of have that vibe, yeah.
I got it, man. You can't do this in Death Stranding that I know of.
Maybe in the sequel?
It only works after you input the Konami code.
How could that be? The Death Stranding is not a Konami game.
Plenty of non-Konami games have the Konami code and Ratchet and Clank free.
I guess.
Pretty much, yeah. The
I mean,
Konami
I
code...
definitely would have bought Death Stranding if this is what the game was like.
Like, the thing is, despite the Konami code being called the Konami code, it's actually not exclusive to
No peace without war. Well, yeah, that's kind of how it works, sadly.
And it's in Russian, so...
But yeah, those are... And here's another one.
Bomb Shelter Buffet.
Leningrad Beats.
God, imagine if they actually got Gordon Ramsay into a Metal Gear Solid project.
It's fucking raw!
Mr. Ramsey, we're in the middle of a war zone here.
The hygienic condition of his kitchen table doesn't leave me with confidence.
Higher pressed vulture.
We can't exactly get a 5-star Michelin chef thing here.
What? Is that a piranha plant? Oh, it's a gator, okay.
Gator jaw meat is actually surprisingly good. Provided it's prepared
well. Like you said, I have a friend who basically went around to eat different reptile meat and told me that roughly it's a bit like fish in terms of taste and texture.
Something may be alive there, guys.
It was a Komodo, they even showed it in a previous shot. I can.
The actress must have had so much fun with these props.
Yeah.
My wife last night.
Oh, and did she love it?
She was mad because I hadn't made it for her sooner.
Women, right?
Women, am I right?
Okay. To be fair, how can you get mad about food? Yeah, I agree.
Pedro, do you want to tell us how?
Snake cutting.
Also, this guy is having a knife inside one of his leaves. I'm not sure it's a good movement. What are you doing?
Come on down, Chief. Don't be shy. I don't fight.
I'll tell you how I can be angry
a-
about food. My steak
a
is cooked
mole.
any more bloody.
That Komodo dragon has dynamite strapped on.
Also, that was a mole hatchet. One of those where you buy pretending to be a ninja.
And now, 7 Alright, so this is a... Okay, dudes, this is a game show.
You have answered 9 out of 10 questions right, Melissa.
I'm curious, how did you manage to get the thing start on each of these shorts?
I rebooted the game like a bajillion times until I got lucky.
Alright, so if she gets it wrong, she gets eliminated.
I see. So if
Alright,
I
so-
understand correctly, it's random each time.
It's random each time,
Starts on-
yeah.
Yeah.
Hi there, Larry.
Also, what's with the uncomfortable close-ups?
Larry's such a good man. We've been married for a while.
Again, too, like I said, this is the consequences of Guns of the Patriots. Like, the Patriots ruin the world.
Pretty sure they can get my data even if they don't stick the camera up my nose.
Well,
Alright,
Tail,
well,
so you say, Tail.
Whoa,
Alright, let me
these
try
are
and
so
answer the question.
Which PMC had a humble beginning in France, but now manufactures 51.5 million firearms per year, and employs an armed force the size of Mexico and Canada's total populations combined.
Do you know that, Vibs?
Well, it's talking about the PMCs in the game, so hardly.
The UN.
Hold on. I thought.
You know the UN is not just one country, right?
No, it's supposed to be a PMC!
Wrong. Hold on.
In this unit,
Is B.
You are the weakest link.
Hello, what is this?
Melissa, you knew the correct answer was B. You should have tried just a little bit harder.
Skill issue!
also, guys, it's the Metal Gear Solid universe. How would you?
Well-
Do you think the?
Oh, here's my
UN would
favorite.
go to war?
An interview with David Hayter, the voice of Snake.
I'll admit in that last skit, I thought they were gonna kill the woman.
Yeah. David Hayter, co-writer of the X-Men movies, Watchmen.
Mission Impossible in that godforsaken Russian
hold on.
boat.
How did you stay afloat?
You mean in high school? Well, my dad got transferred overseas, and
It's funny, he looks a bit like Snake too.
I was really grateful for it.
Grateful.
Also, what is that
What is your
jacket?
biggest secret, Dave?
The latest.
Yeah,
in
what's your biggest
fashion.
secret, David?
You can tell us.
Oh, well, it's not much of a secret, but I have a tattoo of Kobe behind my ear.
Tattoo, splendid.
It's a private, yeah.
What are you?
Oh, there you go, Tail.
What do you mean?
Why are you here?
Oh, well,
Just to
I was
suffer.
hoping to promote my
Oh
new
wait, that's
movie.
the next
I'm
game.
just coming off of the set.
No, David Hayter. Why here? Wearing an eye patch.
Oh, the eye patch. This is pretty cool, actually. Gives me real-time information and weather, traffic reports. Actually, watching a baseball game.
Oh, straight out of an episode of Black Mirror, I see.
It's funny because people these days are actually kind of doing it, like watching 3 things at the same time.
Yeah, what are your dreams,
I don't
David?
understand how people can do that.
Maybe.
What are your dreams, David
It's
Hayter?
called multitasking.
But hearing 3 audios at once.
Hey lady, you might wanna wait till he answers the each question.
I mean, look at it from my.
for it.
Never actually said that.
It still gets me every time.
I didn't say that.
Ocean of gossip.
Ocean of gossip.
If you're just tuning in, you must be thinking, these guys are crazy. What are they staring at that pile of seaweed for?
We don't think we know.
Get it?
Also, Shuri.
Ocean of gossip. We're gossiping about the lives of the fishes.
Also, sure, you gasp at the thought of listening to multiple things, but think about it. We're technically listening to multiple things right now, ourselves and the video we're watching.
Joba, I repute you to be better than a video about Family Guy funny moments.
I honestly have no idea what that's even referring to, and I get the feeling it's a good thing I don't know.
Yeah.
Ooh, turtle. And now...
Oh.
Octopus.
They eat everything.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Hold on. Is that foreshadowing?
Maybe.
No, they haul all 8 arms. That's right.
Even
Fun
the Patriots
fact.
couldn't stop the apocalypse.
Fun fact, one of those legs is a penis. Thanks,
Yeah.
True Zeker. Zeker, true one.
So basically, Joe, what you're saying, one of Squidward's legs is.
I mean...
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, all things considered, this isn't too bad of a TV channel. I mean...
documentary, I suppose.
It's probably one of the better things the Patriots did.
Yeah, and if for an American-made documentary, it's actually very subdued.
Yeah, they're giving you a good education.
Alright, next up.
I wonder what kind of nanomachines David Attenborough will have.
Sorry.
Okay,
Seizure.
Yeah, well done, gentlemen. Now that you've had your education, it's time for you to get a seizure. After you've
Dear
done your...
God, one of those guys looks like the protagonist from Devil's Third.
No, well, nobody remembers Devil's Third.
That's the sad thing. More people will probably remember this game than they will Devil's Third.
Let's get physical. Let's get...
Why are you having a chipmunk filter?
Because it's funny or something. Like, well, Theo, the Patriots AI calculated that this is the best way to reach people.
By giving him a seizure?
Yes! The Patriots AI are not particularly considerate of humans.
Ginger was pure.
Sure, why not?
I didn't like my baby. My own baby.
What?
I was uncomfortable around friends, not to mention my husband. My own husband. Now, he can't keep his eyes off me. Ba-ba-boom.
Okay.
I look and feel better than I did in high school, and that's saying a lot. I was fox. Meow. I started
That's not
what the fox says.
That's not what the fox does.
I know that for a long time people did not do what the fox says, but...
Hey,
They
Joe,
make horrific noises.
Pedro, I get the feeling the Patriots aren't very smart.
I mean, you don't have to be smart to have power in the world.
Yep.
This announcer sounds like the leader of the pack in Up.
Oh, look, nanos. See? Nanomachine. So basically, this is actually an ad for nanosteroids. Nanomachine steroids. There you go. So yeah, so everybody, if you want to excel physically in everything, get your very own nanomachines. Now on sale.
Yeah, that'll never catch on.
So 3 days earlier from the last time.
Frank, who invited you here?
Okay, so basically this is where the actual plot starts. So Snake is visiting the grave of someone. We don't know whose grave it is yet, but we'll
Probably a soldier because of the salute.
And now there's a flashback to Naked Snake, also saluting, which should give you a hint.
Gee, I wonder whose grave it is. Even though this is...
It's nice to get to the plot, because so far this game has been a giant ad for smoking and steroids.
Hey, it's Otacon.
Otacon!
Hold on, something doesn't seem right though. Otacon still is normal age.
Yeah, exactly.
Snake older.
We're going to address that.
Even the dead have ears. Snake, we've got to go.
Like, if you played free, it's pretty
Otacon
obvious
is once again played by Christopher Randolph.
If I remember correctly, aside from one specific thing that happens at the end for very obvious reasons, all characters who return who had a previous voice actor, they have the same one?
They all return, at least as far as I'm aware.
Except for that one
Yeah, like you said,
character,
there's an
which is
exception at the end, but it's super spoilery, so yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess, sure.
The wrinkled skin, the hardened arteries.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Your early aging symptoms look like classic Werner syndrome. But none of the tests were able to pinpoint the cause.
Yeah. One thing I'm not too fond of, but is the case, is Snake has rapid aging syndrome. There is a reason for that later. I feel like there was a better way to do it, but yeah, for all you need to know, unfortunately, things are gonna get tougher for them.
Snake has a year to live at best.
I think out of universe this was done because Kojima wanted to have, this to be the final game for Snake without giving him a chance to return in the future.
Yeah.
I get him wanting to do that. I just don't particularly like that kind of move because, okay, I get if he wanted to end it, but there's never no saying that somebody else couldn't have maybe picked up the story and made it good.
And now we're seeing flashbacks of MGS1.
Because Snake mentioned that he still apparently has inside him the Fox Die virus.
See, one thing that really worked for me is that it made me feel old playing this because, much like Snake, I also am now thinking about my life of going back. So
hey, Naomi. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the whole him having the Fox Die virus would have been
in the flesh.
Yeah,
and this time it's the real Colonel. Don't worry, Shiro. This time it's the real one.
Are you sure? Are you sure? I'll just pull out his face. So I'll just make sure.
You dressed like that would be at your daughter's wedding. What are you doing these days?
He's once again played by Paul Hiding.
Okay, I'm not sure which one's meant to be the granddad of the group, him or Snake.
Yes.
Well, the Colonel is. The Colonel was already old, kind of. So.
Me personally, I would have just stuck with the virus shenanigans stuff with Snake as opposed to making him old. Because, okay, let's be honest. Let's be really honest. Making Snake old ain't gonna keep him from coming
hold on,
back in
Jova.
the future.
We found him. Found who?
Oh boy.
Okay, you might remember, Shiro, how we never found Liquid Ocelot.
He literally ran away with the
he ran away with the Metal Gear Ray. So Snake has been trying to track him down this whole time.
Before it's too late. Liquid's made his move. We found him.
And here's flashbacks of him. From both
that what happens when you press the X button?
Yeah, basically, a mechanic in this game is every time the characters talk about something that happened in the past, we can press X to see flashes of images from said game that they're referencing. So basically, there's a lot of flashing back to previous games, because this is the big wrap up. And we're going to wrap up 10 years of lore in this entire game. So.
I also do get the feeling Kojima made the cutscenes interactive because he knew there was probably going to be some backlash to 70% of this being cutscenes, so give the players everything they can.
So, the structure of Metal Gear Solid 4 works like this. We have a total of 5 acts, and we also have debriefings. This is Act 1, Liquid Sun.
Liquid Sun.
Yes.
All right.
Action?
So, that's why Snake is in the Middle East. He's after Liquid Ocelot.
Oh, the call.
Yep.
We're going to also see a debriefing that explains things in more detail later, but for now, let's see what Atakan wants. And look at that.
What's the situation?
Look at that. Now the codec is basically Discord/Skype video chat.
I'm guessing these were pretty much full motion captured at this point.
Yeah,
too,
it's
definitely a hot picking up trend of the 7th gen.
Let me type in so I can actually hack and sneak in. I'll not say for work with them.
Thanks to the power of the PS3, it was much easier now to make this more fancy, which again makes sense because remember, this technology has been progressing rapidly in universe, so obviously it makes sense that the codec will also become more advanced. So.
It was probably also a good thing that this was released about 2 years or so into the PS3's life cycle, as opposed to at the start, because oh boy, that was a
which that was I was wanting to mention in the previous part. One big reason why these probably will have to be reworked is because Kojima decided to be his usual self and made the characters in universe say a lot of the jokes, references, and calling directly the button prompts and the mechanics of the PS3.
Yeah, there's even a point where even Otacon Otacon literally says, this is the PlayStation 3. Like, he literally says that.
Again,
So.
to be fair, the voice actors technically are there to re-record lines if possible, and I'm pretty sure they're all in good terms at this point. So we'll have to see if they actually want to do something.
I mean, they already confirmed that all the voice actors are going to return for Delta, so I don't see why they can get Christopher Randolph in here to re-record stuff.
Also, what Joe was saying about, potentially being a hindrance about Snake being old, this has to apply to the gameplay too, actually.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
We're going to talk about that. Okay, so the game just told us about the Octocannon. We also have the rations. Okay, the same basic idea works. We have R2 for using the weapons and L2 for using the items. In fact, here are our items. We have an iPod. In fact, this is probably another thing that's going to get removed in the Master Collection because, they probably would have to remove this so they don't have to pay any fines to Apple.
I can see them probably keeping the Apple iPod stuff since it's...
to be fair, Joe, they can do like what the Pikmin re-releases did and just, reskin it and call it, a fake royalty-free name.
Probably.
Or, imagine, what if they instead go to Samsung instead?
Also,
but I digress.
as we mentioned also in the first part, because every weapon is ID tagged, you cannot just pick them up
there you go.
bodies right now.
So yeah, as you can, you'll notice that Snake's suit just switched colors to match the environment I'm in. That's basically how it is. Whenever you lay it down on the floor, the Octop Camo suit will detect your terrain and automatically switch colors to match the terrain. So now you don't have to go back into the menu every time you want to switch your camouflage like in Free. Now it's streamlined.
In-game is actually pretty cool on its own, but out of Unity is also the display of technology because, the game has to recognize the pattern on the ground and adapt to it.
I've heard some people be on the fence about this. A lot of people like it. Some think it takes away a bit from the nuance of the stealth. Me, personally, I'm fine with it. I think it's a cool feature. I guess if I were to try and do something about it, maybe make it more optional as opposed to something that's on by set.
The reason this was implemented is because there were people complaining that in MGS3 you were constantly going in and out of menus every time you wanted to switch camouflage.
Like I said, if it were me, I guess I would just leave the option to have it be either Octosuit or you change stuff manually. But it is what it is. But anyway,
that makes sense in the story.
What do you mean?
Since Kojima loves having gameplay and story working together.
Oh yeah, there is a reason. Basically, Octocamo was something that Otacon made for Snake to make things easier on him. So that's the story explanation.
You can also see the fact that not many around, not many, if no one at all, actually has this technology. It's just a thing that Snake has because it's truly kind of thing.
Got it? Yeah. If you're wondering how you would do my suggestion while connected to story, just easily have Otacon give about dialogue saying, "Oh, if you want to do it old school, you can do it the old way."
Medicinal compress, effective against muscle aches, sore joints, and so there you go. So basically, Shiroi, one of Snake's idle animations is him rubbing his back because his back aches. Because he's old Snake. As you can see, I don't know if you can see on the top left. Oh, actually, I'll do it. Let's take a look at the map real quick. On the top left, right above the life bar, you can see his name. Instead of Solid Snake, now he's Old Snake. So since Snake got old, he has back pains. So fortunately, we can use an arsenal compress to take care of that.
He's finally 30.
Anyway, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of making him old. I feel like he had enough troubles, and I get the feeling that they're trying to rub it on him. But that does bring up the reason. Yeah, Kojima wanted to make sure that Snake's story would have the book close to him because he's old or whatnot. And I'd say that probably would stick if it weren't for the fact that, honestly, by the time of this game, nanomachines could pretty much do anything.
Wait, I hear the ice cream van.
Oh god, Edgy has joined the call again. Okay, the people, the others don't know. Basically, one running gag that me and the others did of commentators watching movies, and apparently Deji at some point systematically has an ice cream truck arrive.
And it's always at the exact same time. It's like it's chasing him or something. But yeah, go on, Jova.
But anyway, though, the thing is, honestly, even before, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance pretty much made nanomachines into an actual meme of being able to do anything, I can easily just see somebody say, oh, actually, Snake got these special nanomachines that reverse the advanced aging, and you could probably just as easily bring Snake back into the fold, honestly.
You'll also notice that the shooting mechanics have also been updated for the current status. This game came out 2 years after the first Gears of War, so to keep up with the times, now the shooting mechanics work more like your typical modern shooter.
Well, this is using still the Fox engine rather than Unreal.
No,
but,
well, actually, this is before the Fox engine too. This is not the Fox engine still. The Fox engine was only MGS5. Go on.
Java.
Yes?
If that was the case, I'd argue, Konami would have had no hesitation, into making a new game immediately starring Snake instead of doing what they did with Survive.
Well, okay, to be fair, I can explain that. Like, for one thing, though, keep in mind, with Kojima not there, they could have done whatever they wanted to. I go out on the limb that Survive was just Konami being cheap, or being afraid to pretty much do anything further without Kojima, but still wanted to make bank off of the Metal Gear.
Java, but I'm pretty confident I can actually think corporate enough at this point, and I can easily think that just including Snake via brand name alone would sell copies.
But here's another thing to keep in mind. Survive was banking off of the most recent Metal Gear hotness at the time, Metal Gear Solid 5. And that was more so based off of Venom Snake, aka Big Boss at the time. So they were going with that boss. Like, now, if it were, let's say that Survive had been coming up the heels of this game, then I probably would have seen Konami bringing back Solid Snake. The thing is that at the time, the Snake that they, and by extension the Metal Gear fanbase were focusing on, was Naked Snake, or Big Boss at the time, between stuff like Peace Walker and, again, Phantom Pain.
Well, remember, that was like I said before, Kojima's plan was exactly to just continue the Big Boss saga. Anyway, as you can see, the whole world is at war. Meaning, unlike with the previous Metal Gear games, the soldiers are not quite as focused on finding you as they were in previous games because, well, they have a war to battle. So,
however, their pattern will be unpredictable.
It's basically a double-edged sword. Yes, the soldiers will be much less paying attention to you, as you can see there. See, however, like Teo said, that means that their patterns will not be predictable, meaning it's a bit harder to plan a way in. So basically, try your best.
And there's also the added problem that you'll recall, thanks to the events of Metal Gear Solid 2, our main heroes are seen as war criminals. So
basically, yeah. So we have
to be fair, since now again, to be fair, at least
that's good. If I remember correctly, this is the part. Yeah. Okay. So this should be a good point. This is a checkpoint. So if I.
All right.
There you go. See.
Crazy. He looks more like he's scratching his ass.
I know, right?
Snake, you're not a bonobo. Come on, man.
I'm turning too old for this shit.
All right, decent.
All right. This is actually one of the.
Maybe if you didn't crouch so much.
Ooh, look at.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that the Octo camera reacted to that.
That's one of these guys where you can pull you can pull a Scooby-Doo and do this kind of shit and the soldiers will find.
I love it.
Also, Dwibs is right. Like, he's hunched over in boxes all the time. His back must be terrible.
Yeah. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's save the game. Okay, unlike with the previous Metal Gear games, you don't save via codec, you just save normally. You still have the codec though, so you can call on other people as much as you want. There you go.
Speaking of boxes, they're back in this game too, Shiroi.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the title screen real quick and watch briefing 1, because before every act there's a briefing, which is basically a big interactive cutscene explaining what we're going to do in said act. The first mission briefing, you have to access it via the title screen, so let's do that.
Kind of weird that they didn't just include it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Yeah, I don't get it either. But whatever, let's just do it. Even with the full install, the loading takes a bit. So.
Well, yeah, it's a PS3
All right,
title.
so
not at the beginning, but sort of still.
Mission
PS3 was a bit tough.
Mission briefing. All right, and now Sheila, you're going to see what Snake and Otacon have been doing these past 5 years.
Well, depending on what fanfic you read, it might have
Only
been
2, eh?
each other.
All right, pay attention to this because this is actually going somewhere, believe it or not.
Great.
There you go. Even in this game, the food looks great.
If you're a fan of over easy eggs.
I can eat them every way I want.
Same.
I'm not picky.
Now, if only we could get them sunny side up.
Who voices Sunny exactly?
I forgot her name, but she's adorable in this role. All right, so Manhattan's inventory. Yeah, it's G. Obvious backlash, right?
They're just gay dads raising a child.
Actually, Shiroi, yes.
Christina Puccelli.
That's it. Thanks. PMCs, private military companies. So pay attention.
Have no basis in nations or ideologies.
These are
They
mercenaries.
private
Yeah.
enterprises driven by profit. In addition to dispatching mercenaries to war zones, they secure weapons and train local soldiers. They're contractors for war itself, and business is good. Their clientele includes developed nations like the U.S., rebel factions looking to seize power by
Man,
force.
considering what I started last year, this is becoming even sadder than
In the
to
Americas,
Jesus.
Asia, the South Pacific, Europe, Africa, the Middle East. The rise of the PMC has
I mean,
spawned
PCs have been a thing also for decades, even in real life. If you follow the news, baby, oh man.
And yeah, this is Sunny, and unfortunately, she's not quite figured out. She's played by Christina Puccelli, like Blip said, and yeah, she hasn't quite figured out how to cook eggs yet.
Bless her, she's trying.
She right, because Snake and Otacon are always working, they always forget to eat, and Sunny's trying her best to try to get them to eat, but yeah. So you're probably wondering, Shory, who is this girl? We're gonna talk about who she is later.
Pentagon's new
This poor child.
That's very nice, honey.
She would later go on to be in the Loud House.
Oh, really?
Oh, dear.
I'm guessing she's one of the sisters.
Arms Tech Security.
I think so.
Oh, Colonel, you want maybe?
In recent years,
no, I already had
shifted
breakfast.
focus from weapons development to security tools.
My
And since the
tears.
establishment of AT Security,
Should the kid be listening in on this?
I do like this because it's a very this is exactly because let's face it, Snake and Otacon are not exactly parent material, so they're doing their best.
Some of Yander's wallpaper.
Yeah, some of the others wallpaper. They obviously they still did their best to raise Sunny, but obviously they're not exactly cut out for this. But again, they're the only ones she has. So.
I never got that from this scene. I just got the idea that, hey, they're busy right now. Usually they're better at it when they're not busy with this kind of stuff, but
It's a sad situation, although I would suggest, Sunny, you can,
I love her socks.
You can pull up the plates one at a time instead of putting yourself at risk. Oh. Yeah. She really needs a friend.
Basically, they live in a plane. Yeah, all of Snake's cigarettes.
Also, that portrait. It's a fire hazard, son. Yeah.
Sunny doesn't like cigarettes. Oh, look.
Snake! You were smoking again, weren't you? This is a non-smoking flight.
Exactly, this is a non-smoking flight, Snake. You can't smoke in here.
Also, you notice her speech seems a bit limited. I do wonder if that was supposed to be an implication of, what happened to her given, certain circumstances regarding her birth, but again...
It is possible, but the game never specify about it.
Yeah.
And look at that!
About that when we find out
We
who
have a
her
robot
mom is.
companion.
Yes, the Mark II. he's gonna be our robot companion for our missions.
Yeah.
That way, Otacon can accompany us in missions without actually being there.
I think you first saw him in Snatcher, although in Snatcher, Metal Gear Mark II actually talked, whereas here...
I know, but PMCs are beginning to overtake.
Well, how nice though that as a result of
Oh, there you go.
PMCs, growing regular armies have now decreased.
Yes, basically, the Patriots fucked the world.
Which, one thing I've always wondered, why now exactly? Like, I mean, was like the events of 2 make them...
Well, this is
the Manhattan accident essentially exposed a bit the Patriots and their employees, because up until that point most of the operation had been in secret. So I'm guessing the Patriots decided for that moment to strike.
Yep.
Not to mention, as we will learn I think in a second, Liquid also decided to make his move around this point.
Yep.
Ahmed, the reason for my confusion is like the ending of Metal Gear Solid 2 seemed to suggest that the Patriots would pretty much just secret everything away and make things go back to normal.
Oh, this one.
Then again,
the war economy.
But I, for one,
get it, guys? Because again, the war on terror in Iraq was a thing at this point.
Yep.
Market expansion entails fanning the flames of war.
Feels weird to actually have that no longer be a thing now.
War orphans.
Hi, Raiden.
Hey, Raiden.
Hey, remember that from Metal Gear Solid 2? But yeah, this is actually a good point for me to bring up. One thing you will notice is that a lot of stuff from Metal Gear Solid 2 does get retconned heavily. This was in part to appease people who were really put off by 2, and also again to give conclusions to stuff that, I'll be honest, Kojima clearly did not have plans to conclude originally.
To be fair, he himself admitted this, and he didn't originally want to make this game. So
pretty much, like I said, it's like, yeah, it's essentially Metal Gear's Dual Destinies to its Apollo Justice. One that is meant to try and like resolve on stuff that originally was not capped off on.
Ooh,
hey,
Outer Heaven.
That company's called Outer Heaven.
For those who don't remember, that's the name of the place we play in the original Metal Gear.
Liquid has decided to take up the legacy of his father, I guess.
In the body of the
and yeah, it seems that at this point, Liquid has taken over completely the body of Ocelot.
To create the perfect world once envisioned by Big Boss.
In the end, Ocelot was the biggest puppet of all. Ironic.
And there's Big Boss right there.
Before it's too late.
But Snake, your dad finally got
Alright, let me explain this.
Can't you be happy for him?
So, in the debriefing scenes, we have the ability to control the camera. For now, let's just watch the proper debriefing. We'll get back and rewatch this in other ways after this.
You want Liquid dead.
Again, like I said,
I can't zoom up Colonel Campbell's nose.
Don't worry, guys. We'll do that later.
Again, like I said, I get the inkling that aside from Kojima liking to experiment, this was also his way of saying, well, hey, technically there's gameplay during the cutscenes too.
Okay, I guess I will take that over not having anything at all.
Same.
It's kind of like with QTs.
Now, I'm not too bugged by it because I overall do like the story of this game, so that's a plus.
Yeah, why Snake?
Again. Teo, you gave compliments to the mocap actor from Snake in the previous game. I have to compliment to whoever mocapped Sunny, because I really like the way she moves. It really looks like a child moving.
You'll recall a rather alarming report issued by that American think tank during the Cold War. One that described a new model for perpetual war. What we're facing now is a whole new ballgame.
Iron Mountain's Delphi technique.
That was fiction.
It's a whole competitive market.
Existed only on paper. The reality is far more serious.
And yeah, even the audio is, regulated in a more proper stereo way of, thinking either left or right, depending on where you are.
Oh, cool! They got our actress back from Metal Gear Rising. That's nice.
Sounds pretty self-serving to me.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, her role is not even that big, so...
No, she's basically a cameo in that game, so it wouldn't be hard to do that.
She had... I could have sworn she actually did have a notable role.
Oh, she does. Well, okay, yeah. Technically, in terms of cutscenes, it's short time, but you get her on the codec, so you can talk to her a lot via the codec.
plots this insurrection. If we fail to act, he'll become the greatest threat the world has ever faced.
I mean, I think Snake is a
Again?
point at like whatever at this point. The world is fucked.
This feels a lot. This feels a lot like one of those Bond debriefings where Bond is just out of it and wants to retire, but of course M comes back. Okay, one more time, Bond. One more time.
Considering now it's not really apparent anymore, but again, the parallel before was more akin to Rambo because Colonel Campbell was also looking like his equivalent from those movies.
Our intelligence on Liquid's uprising originally comes via reports from U.S. Special Forces, who were mobilized after we at the UN reported our findings. They're tracking Liquid's movements. About 18 hours ago, he was spotted in the Middle East.
He didn't think to shave off that silly mustache of his so no one would recognize him.
No, instead he grew out more questionable haircuts.
Also, Dwibs, who says he doesn't want to be recognized? Like, remember, this is Liquid we're talking about.
Is provided by one of the PMCs under Liquid's control.
What about the rebels?
And yeah, much like with a lot of other things, I learned about PMCs by playing this game back in 2008 when I was a teenager. So again, one of my biggest points of appeal for Metal Gear, which is explaining complicated military concepts in a way that's fun for a younger audience, is something that I really appreciate about this series.
Nowadays, thanks to the internet, this kind of knowledge is more common.
Oh yeah, now it is.
Real world event, but they actually have.
But back in these days, it wasn't so much. So.
I just summed this up as shut up, you gotta learn something.
Disguised as one of the rebel armies.
If anything, it kind of sums up, the actual awareness to real world problems.
So here's the $1,000,000 question: what exactly is Liquid up to now?
I guess we'll have to.
Nonsense.
Well, he's Liquid Ocelot, Shiro, so yes.
He wants to fuck things up.
Don't smoke in the plane.
Well, that's a
Snake, this is a non-smoking flight.
You
recycle the air, you dumbass.
You actually noticed that during the entirety of the cutscene, Snake constantly has to resist the urge of actually starting the cigarette.
Well, Snake has always been a smoker, so.
No, that's the thing. It would have been so easy to just after Sonny says that, just put it down, not paying attention anymore. But the fact that it brings constantly up is actually a good touch because it's a more realistic way someone who's actually dependent on smoking would do.
No guarantees from anyone. And you must not leave behind any evidence of your involvement in the area, let alone that of the UN.
Sweet summer child.
If word of this ever leaked out, it would spark a global firestorm.
Did you not hear me? We're fucked anyway.
Snake.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to be doing my old Snake voice that often because goddamn
Even David Hayter complained about that.
Maybe you should start smoking with
Jesus.
No.
All right.
That's one hell of a method acting. Although I did find out
So Bond. So Bond, will you terminate?
On TV nowadays.
I mean,
he's usually done with prop.
Yes, Major.
No. Go on. Go on, Jova.
I found out that these days in a lot of media, most smoking you see is done with like prop cigarettes that don't have the usual makeup. Well, props, cigarettes, cigars, or pipes or whatnot don't have like the usual hazardous to your health material in them.
So Snake will not do it for money. He will do it for himself because he has a score to settle with Liquid, obviously.
It kind of makes sense. He really did not have much of hesitation, having to terminate the Liquid.
Metaphor.
I'll start my own father.
Fire.
Snake, not for nothing. You're starting to sound like dear old dad before he went insane.
Well, maybe he really did got the best genes.
All right. Now let's start the debriefing again, but this time we're actually going to use the camera features. Here's how the camera features work. You can choose between a total of 3 specific cameras, specifically what, and look at that. Sonny's got a PS3 over there. Huh. We can also take a look at. We can also control them. We can also control the Mark II and walk around.
Welcome to Five Nights at Snakes.
Go up, Colonel Campbell's nose.
All right, so let's see what Sunny. So yeah, because the cutscene is entirely done in real time, it's possible for us to literally watch the cutscene from whatever angle we want.
A wet workshop targeting the head of a major multinational corporation.
Okay, when Sunny moved through you, did you switch it, or did the game automatically do that, you know, to sort of reconcile her, in theory, walking around the mech?
If I remember correctly, she pushes you away if she touches you.
If I recall correctly, in terms of collision, Jova, the robot is an object that can be pushed around by characters.
Alright, let's see what's in here.
Yeah.
Okay, we can also get items to use for the campaign. Got a ration? Let's see.
It's interesting. This sort of real-time stuff seems like the kind of stuff that will later be realized in games like Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
Which does allow you to interact with something, but since everything is done in real time, makes the cutscenes
this is also the thing, Jova. This type of cutscene presentation, as in something happens and you can move around with an object or a character, was a thing that game companies were actually tempted to experiment around this era, because the first Assassin's Creed does this in all of the sequence in the past, and I think also in the present. There's virtually almost no conventional cutscene at all. And instead present like this, and as you can imagine, this kind of effect never really took off for a very obvious reason, unless it's done in a specific way like this, where you have the choice, replaying.
Hold on, finish.
You'll become the greatest threat.
Gone to you.
Unless you have, you have the options to do it, and move around freely, but also replay the cutscene, in the way that you prefer, and instead it's just presented this way. People will have the tendency of not getting the information that the cutscene is conveying, because maybe it will skip the dialogue, and as a result, they will not have the same kind of engagement. The fifth star ocean, integrity and faithlessness, suffers greatly because of this very thing, but like I said, the first Assassin's Creed is guilty of that. So ironic enough, a game released at the same time, because yes, Snake has an Altair costume in this game as an unlockable. A game done around this time has the polar opposite in terms of presentation than this one. This one is maybe too focused on proper conventional cutscene, while the other instead, not enough. Yes, but
can you use Metal Gear Ray to open the door and blow everyone out of the plane?
No.
Why do you want to do that?
All right,
because it's funny.
We already had the Metal Gear Stupid in the previous game, Dubs. But okay, so the basic idea is we can take a look at what Sunny's doing up here while the others are talking. So let's see. There you go. As you can see, she's now going to do the dishes.
That is actually a nifty thing where and believe it or not, it's not unheard of where.
Look at that.
The local PMCs.
Right. A proxy war between the higher.
It's not a complete unheard thing for models to be doing something that you don't see, especially in modern day, where you can use essentially debug mode to see what models are doing.
As you guys found out in Beyond Two Souls.
Sunny's just too precious.
I will say this though, that I get why Assassin's Creed did it, because Assassin's Creed, the first one, is pretty famous, or infamous, depending on your perspective, for being essentially kind of like the ultimate tech demo of the 7th
It
gen.
was Ubisoft wanting to be experimental with new technology.
My turn to say that. Like, I also find the Sunny's behavior in this bit very realistic in terms of being the kid who is just waiting for she wants to get the attention of the adults, but she can't, so she's just kind of on her own there.
You can tell again, that's the core thing that the game presents you right from the get-go. Despite having this situation, you can tell there's a
lot of heart. Yeah.
No, there's some kind of dysfunctionality, and Sunny really just needs a friend, because of their job, Altacon and Snake are always busy. It's cool that they actually can take care of her, but she should need someone to talk with more properly and relationship, some kind of friendship.
It also
My take on this. Sorry.
It also I also love how they managed to tell us a lot about Sunny, what she's thinking, what she without her saying a single word.
My take has
Well,
always
you
been
did say
that...
sentences earlier.
Well, not as much. You know, what Pedro says is minimally, so go on, Joe.
My take has been that Snake and Otacon actually do treat her very well.
Oh, they do.
It's just that for this scenario right here, they can't pay her the biggest amount. And as for how she is, again, I can't spoil why, but I do get the feeling that the story does give implications that she may not have developed the best mentally overall. This is an arc that pretty much does see its full-on conclusion by Metal Gear Rising Vengeance.
Basically, and when you think about it, that does make sense. I mean, a child growing up in this world, I mean, yeah, I can only imagine how that would be difficult. So,
again, also given what happened with her while her mother was pregnant with her, but again, we gotta wait and see who her mother was.
it boils down to, again, a true demonstration of what I mean about why I love Metal Gear. You know, underneath all the political intrigue, there's still that human heart in there beating. There's still a human side there to give you emotional engagement on everything, and we're going to continue to see that. All right, that's it, everybody. Now that we're done with the briefing, let's start the game proper. In the next part.
See you then.
See ya.